Sunshine, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a top 5 young adult books. Two things. My favorite books change quite often because I read a lot. So honestly, these probably won't be my top 5 favorite forever, but they're my top 5 current favorite books. And none of these are like parts of series, so if I like any young adult books that are parts of series, they are not in this video. I thought I should just put that out there. And second thing I have to talk about before I start this video is if I sound weird, like I pronounce words weird or something, it's because I got this bar on the top of my mouth because I have to get a baby tooth pulled that's like stuck, and I have another one that's impacted, and so I have to have this bar before I get it pulled. It's a long story, honestly, but yeah, those are just my 2, 3, whatever disclaimers before I start this video. Let's just get into it. I have the physical copies of 4 of these books. I don't have a physical copy of one of them. In the thumbnail I had 5 books, but I don't really have all of them. So these aren't in any particular order. These are just the top 5. So honestly, I think I'm just gonna talk about them in the order I read them. Let's just start with the first book. So the first book is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. A shorter version of the description, there's this girl named Samantha, and she's in the popular group, whatever. And she has like severe OCD, like very severe OCD, but none of her friends know because honestly they're not like true friends, they're just like kind of fake. But she has it to the point where it's kind of like debilitating in a way. And then she makes a friend named Caroline, and this isn't any spoilers, this is just basically what it says in like the description. She meets a friend named Caroline, which she tells everything to, but she doesn't want to stop becoming friends with the popular like girls because she feels like they're like protection for her in a way. But she comes from the Caroline, and Caroline introduces her to like this poet's corner type thing, and I think they go during lunch and they just read their poems and write poems. I thought it was really good. To be honest, I don't remember everything about this book, but I remember that when I read it I loved it. And I liked the concept of her kind of having 2 lives in a way. Her life with like the popular girls is very different than her life with like the poet's corner, and kind of seeing that I thought was very interesting, and I liked kind of like character development in a way for her. Okay, next book. So the next book is This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. Basically, it's a story and it's told from 4 perspectives of these kids at school, and the whole book takes place in 54 minutes. So the kids, they're at like an assembly, and once it's over the kids like try and leave the auditorium, but the doors are locked. Then there's a shooter. It's a pretty dark book, like really dark book, but I think it's really well written, and it's stuff that actually happens, and I think it's a very important book to read and learn about and see. Like, you know, like there's books that like everyone like reads in school, like Romeo and Juliet, and most of them, honestly, I don't find the purpose of reading them. This could honestly be a whole rant video in itself, but I don't find the purpose in reading them when they don't really give you a message. Like, what was the point of Romeo and Juliet? It wasn't true love. They were literally like 14, and it was dumb. And honestly, all those books I read, I never find like a true message, like what am I supposed to be learning from this? And 2 of the books I have in this top 5, and this is one of them, I feel should be books that we read at school instead of stuff like Romeo and Juliet or like Scarlet Letter and stuff like that. I just don't find like what's the purpose of it? Like, I really don't see the purpose, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure some people do, and like you learn some literature stuff, but stuff like this that's like real and it's like happening now, I think is way more important than that. So I feel like this book is really good. It's really sad, obviously, and it's very deep and is scary, but it's something people need to know because it happens. This isn't some foreign thing that doesn't happen. It happens, and it's sad that it happens, obviously, but I think that books like this are important to read in school, not even just for the fact that it could happen, because obviously it's not going to happen to everybody, but the fact that people need to learn to be more sensitive to it, because it does happen to people, and it's not some crazy thing that only happens to some people. It happens a lot, and that's just the truth behind it, even though it's sad, and I wish it didn't happen a lot, but it does. So I feel like this is a book that a lot of people should read. I think it's written really well. Okay, the next book is the one I don't have. It is The Hate U Give, which is another book that I think people should read. The premise of the book is the main character's name is Star, and she lives in like a more like rundown town, but she goes to like this fancy private school, and she feels as if she needs to act different when she's at school compared to when she's at home, because when she's at home she feels more comfortable and safe, and when she's at school she feels like if she acts how she usually does, people are going to label her as like ghetto and feed into like stereotypes and stuff like that, so she acts different at school. So basically she goes to this party and a fight breaks out, so she and her one friend decide to leave, and he's driving her home, and he was like, I think speeding a little bit, or not even. I think he got pulled over for no reason at all, but he got pulled over, and the cop made him get out of the car, and Star was really nervous, obviously, was really freaked out, and he scoots over to the window and is talking to Star because she's like freaking out, and he gets shot, and which was obviously wrongfully so, especially because first of all they weren't doing anything, and second of all he didn't have a weapon, and he was a teenager, and he got shot and he died. So the story basically follows that, and Star trying to speak up. People start saying stuff about her and her friend, and she decides to speak up, which is basically the book. But I think that's a very important book to read. I think it gives a good message, and I think it would open a lot of people's eyes. For someone that doesn't have to like face discrimination, I think it's very eye-opening, and I know a lot of people don't understand it, and I think this book could show people that it's real and it happens. Okay, the next book, more lighthearted, is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I read this book very recently. I love this book. Honestly, I like romance type stuff. It wasn't all about romance. So the premise is there's this girl, Natasha, and there's this boy, Daniel. Natasha, her family is getting deported that night, and she's trying to make it so she can stay because they're going to get deported to Jamaica, and she's trying to talk to everyone she can to try and get them to stay. So she's going through town, and Daniel is going to a college interview, and they bump into each other and they talk, whatever, and basically they spend the whole day together, and Daniel believes in like fate and Natasha doesn't at all. So I thought it was a really good book, but I think this is probably one of my favorite young adult like romance type novels because it wasn't just about romance, there was like other things in it, and I thought it was very interesting and like really good. I think I read it in like 2 days or something, maybe even less. It goes back between their two perspectives, and then it will talk about some other stuff, and there's some other people you hear a little bit from. I thought it was interesting to see like their different struggles. I thought it was a really cute love story. So yeah, the last book is written by the same author that The Hate U Give was written by. It's On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I read this book very recently. I read it in like 2 days, even though it's like, I don't even know. It's pretty long, like 450 pages maybe. Basically, it's about this girl, Brie, and her dad was a rapper, like a well-known rapper, but he had gotten shot by a gang. Or she also raps. She wants to pursue her career because she likes rapping, but she also, her family struggles a lot with money, and she feels like she could help. Like her brother's helping, and her mom obviously has a job. She feels like, oh, I should help, I should be doing all this, whatever. She writes a song and gets it out there, and kind of, it goes viral for not the best reasons, and it caused a lot of controversy, and not many people will listen to her, and she kind of has to fight this thing of trying to make money but also trying to be who she wants to be, and there's trouble with her school, and her school is pretty shady, and I thought it was a really good book. I honestly think it's a book you could read at school too, but I thought if you read one between The Hate U Give and On the Come Up, I thought Hate U Give would be a better one to read. I recommend reading both of them, but if I'm going off my judgment of like learning lessons from both, even though they give similar lessons in a way, I think The Hate U Give, personally. I think either one you could read at school, to be honest. But those are my top 5 current favorite young adult books. Like I said before, it'll probably change. Like I don't know when, but probably eventually they're gonna change next time I read another young adult book. If you guys like these book videos, give this video a thumbs up so that I know. I like making these book videos. I know not a lot of people read, so like probably you guys don't love it the most, but I like them. Comment down below video ideas, and comment down below if you'd like to see like maybe a music playlist video. I don't have like the best taste in music. I listen to about the same 6 people, but maybe you want to see it, I don't know. And if you think you guys are gonna like my channel, you can totally subscribe. Hit that bell if you want to be notified whenever I post. But I think that's about it, so I'll see you guys next week. Peace out, sunshine.